The Badgers get a big commit, and by big commit, I mean literally a big commit, right here from backyard in Sun Prairie. Joined by Ben Wargel of BadgerNation.com. I'm Adam Mertz of madison.com and the Wisconsin State Journal. Ben, tell us a little bit about Craig Evans, defensive tackle for Sun Prairie. It was a really nice get for the Badgers in the middle of last week.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise, actually. I mean, he told me earlier in the year that he wanted to kind of wait, go through his junior year, but he was here on campus, really just felt that it was the right time. He saw what Wisconsin was doing in the class of 2014 in terms of putting together good, quality, solid players. Guys like Jaden Gall, Chance Stewart, George Panos, and Connor Shee already in the mix. And he just felt that Wisconsin eventually was going to be the place where he wanted to go. And so he just decided it wasn't going to make any sense to wait any longer. Really liked that this kid already had offers from Pittsburgh, Nebraska, Michigan State. A lot of schools had already begun to give him mail, show him interest. And for him to kind of pledge early to Wisconsin, kind of formulate with Sheehy, be a really good defensive tackle core in the future. And like you said, he's 325, very mobile, very versatile, just a very strong athlete. It's a very good start for Wisconsin's recruiting class.
And this is a kid that we follow in the local area. He scored, I think, each of the last 2 weeks on touchdown runs. I mean, it speaks a little bit to his mobility. I know he's a big guy, but you still got to be able to move a little bit back there.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it really speaks to this level of talent that this guy has. I mean, you look at Wisconsin's 2014 recruiting verbal commits so far. He, by far, Craig Evans, had the most scholarship offers, the most diverse interest from Big Ten power schools, national power schools, guys like Texas, Oklahoma, NC State, UCLA, Ohio State had already been showing interest in Evans without offering. So this kid really is a legit guy. I mean, you just look at him. He's only a junior. He's really going to progress. He's really going to really fine-tune his body. He's at about like 6'3", 6'4", 325. Just imagine him in 2 years and then a year under Ben Herbert, what kind of player he can become.
A great story from him, too, coming up from Mississippi and living here and really getting the fresh start that he needed in that Sun Prairie program. Want to talk to you also, I mean, this was a weekend when the Badgers had several recruits in, non-committed recruits that they wanted to take a look at. Can you walk us through some of the bigger names that were in town on Saturday against UTEP?
Well, the big guy was Jalen Banks, a three-star kid out of Illinois, a safety. Wisconsin's recruiting class really wants to get some more defensive backs in it. They already have one in Keelan Brookings from Minnesota. They're really close on Soldier and Shelton, a cornerback from Plantation High School in Florida. But Jalen Banks, really talented kid, really versatile, trains with Core 6 Showcase down in Chicago, a very prominent kind of 7-on-7 training facility for athletes in the Midwest. This kid is really talented. He's going to take a lot more visits, though. Vanderbilt's in the mix, Oregon's in the mix. So without question, to get him on campus early and to show him kind of the red carpet treatment is big. A lot of unofficial visits, too. Jordan Van Dort from Zeeland, Michigan, a tight end prospect. He's in the 2014 class. Jester Weah from just down the road, Massey Memorial, a senior. Probably is a kid that could get an offer somewhere down the road. It'd be really big to get for Wisconsin to get another wide receiver in this class. And the big basketball kid was Michael Finke from Champaign Centennial High School. He's a 2014 prospect. Just got an offer from Illinois on Sunday. So this is a kid that's really talented, really versatile, a kid that Bo Ryan and Greg Gard and Gary Close and Lamont Paris, they really want to join Ethan Happ in that 2014 class.
One topic I want to touch on with you this week, Badgers heading up to Nebraska. Nebraska's been in the Big Ten now for 2 years. Brett Bielema just talked about it at his press conference about the impact that Nebraska's had on the Big Ten recruiting scene. What have you seen that they've gone after, and where have the Badgers and their interests converged?
Well, really, it's kind of the defensive end position, really. I mean, you look at where kind of the offers have gone out, where the main battles have gone through in the last couple of years. It's been defensive end. Wisconsin, won a couple big ones. James Adianju from Chicago had Nebraska in his top 5 before he committed. Jesse Hayes from Moeller, Ohio, really, really liked Nebraska until he came to Wisconsin and saw what the Badgers were all about. And the one area where Nebraska really picked up a good commitment is from Milton, Wisconsin, the 2013 class, and A.J. Nader. Nader was a guy that really liked Nebraska early on. Nebraska offered him early when Wisconsin was kind of going through that transition. Bob Bostad had been the guy that had been recruiting him, but then when Bostad left, he's a guy that kind of fell between the cracks a little bit. Charlie Partridge did pick up his recruitment towards the end, but Nader just felt more comfortable with Nebraska, the tradition down there, the facilities, the coaching staff, and he's been solid in Nebraska ever since. And that's going to be an interesting matchup to watch down the road. When Nader and Wisconsin eventually, when those two teams start playing each other again down the road, especially if Nader really has developed into a premier player. So, I mean, it's kind of give and take. Without question, Nebraska has pushed Wisconsin to be better recruiting. Look at Craig Evans, who had a Nebraska offer. It's forced Wisconsin to maybe start recruiting these guys earlier in the Midwest with bigger schools coming in, like Michigan State, Nebraska, a bunch of other, top Midwest schools coming into the state, knowing that in-state kids here at Wisconsin have been one of the key contributors to back-to-back Rose Bowl appearances. So it's definitely pushed the level of recruiting in the Big Ten higher, and I think it's kind of been a welcome change for Brett Bielema and his staff to keep pushing.
Thanks for that insight this week, Ben Wergel of BadgerNation.com, and thanks for joining us on this weekly look at Badgers recruiting.